Hello everyone. You are watching a fragment of the program Countdown from November 6, 2023. Today is Monday. You can see our programs in full on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who becomes our patrons right now. I will talk about the topics of the postscriptum program a little later, but now about the most important. The pro-Kremlin witches midwives hate and gossip in the direction of Trump, who in their fantasies is about to overthrow the hated Sleepy Joe. Simple logic. If it is Biden who has an agreement with the Kremlin, and Putin is deathly afraid of Trump, then why did Zhirinovsky open champagne in 2016, rejoicing in Trump's victory, while Donna's uncle himself wanted to get along with the good guy, Putin? But the Trumpists will not answer these questions, like any sectarians blinded by love for their red leader. Propagandist Markov has a twisted logic, which he voices in his Telegram channel, exactly 1 hour before the elections. Trump wins the election from Biden. Everything is decided by the fluctuating states. Out of 6 such vacillating states, according to sociology, Trump wins against Biden in 5 out of 6. This is written by the New York Times, which is very much in favor of Biden. And even they admit if honest elections are held now, then Trump will be president for the second time. The end of the quote. The Kremlin no longer hides who it is betting on. And if the request is not fulfilled, then what? Plague and nuclear swing. It seems that the Bolsheviks are purposefully preparing for the implementation of just such a scenario. The Ministry of Defense reported on the successful test launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile launched from a new Bourget-class nuclear submarine. The statement notes that the missile cruiser, Emperor Alexander III, launched a Bulava missile from an underwater position in the northern White Sea, hitting a target in the far eastern region of Kamchatka. But representatives of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, in turn, reported that the tests of the carriers of nuclear weapons of the Russian Federation ended unsuccessfully. According to their data, tests of Yars and Bulava missiles were failed. Problems also arose with the -28 rupees, Sarmat, mine-based intercontinental ballistic missile. However, it is too early to rejoice. The rakes still have an hour and a half to finish and comb everything that is not sufficiently combed. The Kremlin understood that Biden combined both wars, the Middle East and Ukrainian-European, into one, and identified the main problem, Russia. It is she who is the core of the very axis of evil that is formed as the main threat to humanity. And this rod must be uprooted. In response, Moscow promotes the main narrative: Biden's age, his senility and absent-mindedness. We must give credit to Putin. The only thing he managed to bring to shine is a propaganda machine that works non-stop and effectively burns the brains of even those who live in Europe and the USA. The main target is post-Soviet consumers of propaganda, fed Kremlin silos flavored with Soviet nostalgia. The victims of racist fairy tales will not be told that even the GRU's own spies, expelled from Europe and returned to their families, fall into a stupor from Putin's reality and start convulsively writing to the leader of mourning. See this and other stories in full on the Patreon resource. Become our patrons right now and see more in this program. The situation in the Middle East is heating up. Israel conducted its first battle in space, shooting down a ballistic missile launched from the territory of Yemen. And the USA is sending its nuclear submarine to the Middle East region. According to People's Deputy Goncharenko, the president of Ukraine Zelensky instructed the office of the president to prepare for the elections to be held on the last Sunday of March 2024. And the day before, Zelensky rejected the possibility of negotiations with Russia on territorial concessions from Ukraine. Kadyrov's son, Adam, is rapidly growing. On the chest of a 15-year-old teenager, another rattle was hung. The offspring of the swollen Ramzan is clearly being prepared for some important geopolitical mission. See in the postscript program. The American nuclear submarine is moving towards the Middle East. Earlier, the Biden administration, through its regional partners, sent messages to Iran and Hezbollah that the United States is ready to intervene in the conflict if they launch attacks against Israel. Fascist shaman pressed the nuclear button during the concert. This menacing performance could not be replicated without an upper hand. This is the line of the war party today, the line of the supreme nuclear commander. The closer the moment of Putin's re-establishment, the more active the dance of suicidal devils. And that's all. See all our programs in full on Patreon. And thanks to everyone who becomes our patrons right now. Hugs to everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.